How's everybody doing this morning? Welcome. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. Welcome. And thank you all for coming out. Want to spend the first few minutes here just to kind of give you a recap thought process coming out of the trade deadline. I want to send a special thank you to a few people. First of all, to my front office. I've been in the league 25 years now, and there is a lot of work and preparation that goes into getting ready for that time of year being trade deadline. So it's a lot of hours, it's a lot of phone calls, and my group was exceptional. I felt very well prepared, very well informed. So I want to publicly say thank you to all of them first and foremost. Also want to say a thanks to Dennis Schroeder, Keon Ellis, and Dario Saric for the professionalism and the buy-in and the hard work that they put in during their time here with the Sacramento Kings. It is much appreciated, and I wish them all the very best in furthering their careers where they landed after this trade. As you know, the trade deadline is just the first opportunity, really, to make an adjustment with the roster. And as I said to all of you here in the media and the Sacramento King community at large and fan base, is that we're going to take our time and we're going to use this year to evaluate this roster. And that's what we did. In the first 50 games of this year, we've had an opportunity to make that evaluation. And so we decided to make a little tweak with the roster after watching that. I felt like we were smallish. We had a lot of guards. We were very, heavy at the guards. We didn't have a point guard coming into the season, as I made, as you all know. There was no point guard here. And so that was the reasoning behind going after a Dennis Schroeder. And so for a variety of reasons, as things unfolded, things didn't work as well as we would have liked them to work, just quite frankly. And it's not reflective just on Dennis Schroeder, it's on the collective. We endured, and it's not an excuse, but it's a fact, a lot of injuries. I think we're the only team in the league this year that never started the projected starting five going into the season. For example, Keegan Murray's missed 33 games this year out of the 50. Domantas Sabonis has missed 33 games, and then Dennis missed 7 himself. So that makes it very difficult to create any kind of continuity amongst your basketball team, because it takes time to create the necessary cohesion that can be very helpful when it comes to winning basketball games. So that was, observe that. And so you've heard me also talk about needing to get bigger size, more length, versatility, athleticism, reasoning behind trading for a guy like DeAndre Hunter. And contrary to some public sentiment, DeAndre is a very proven two-way player in this league, and he's not an old player. He's just 28 years old. He allows us to defend at a high level, I believe. He's exhibited that throughout his career. He's been a very good shooter from the perimeter. I know his numbers were a little down this current season coming out of Cleveland, but there's enough historical data and historical evaluation that leads me to believe that he can be helpful to us. And I think another thing that's not talked about much, he's on a very short contract too. He becomes an expiring contract next year. So when making this move, still gives us flexibility. One of the things that you evaluate when you come into a new job is kind of where the roster is at. And, and so we knew years 1 and 2 was going to be difficult in terms of having much financial flexibility. 27, 28, as currently constructed, that's going to be the first opportunity we will have a little window to start having a little more flexibility and making some more moves to continue to improve the roster. I've talked about one of the other byproducts of the deal, which was important to us as well too. We were able, in sending out 3 players, it opened up a roster spot for us to elevate and sign to a full-time NBA contract a guy like Dylan Cardwell, who has more than earned it and who's quickly becoming a fan favorite here. And he does things that are very important for any successful basketball team. He is an energetic defender. He's able to protect the rim. He's a switchable center, big man. He can guard guys away from the basket as well. He is an excellent rebounder, one of the top rebounders for the minutes he's played as a rookie already. And we just continue to see a very great trajectory for him. So it was important that we be able to convert him so he can finish the remainder of the season with us and not be capped at 50 games as a two-way player. So we're excited about that. Again, we're at the extreme early stages of laying the foundation here. And you've heard the phrase from me, prudent and patient. That's how it has to be if you want to create a foundation of sustainable winning, like what we want to do. So we're not going to do anything out of panic. There's a lot of outside noise that comes throughout the year, and especially during trade deadline. But I've been around long enough. I'm an experienced enough person in this position that I'm not going to allow that to sway any of our decision makings, do anything out of panic, and make any what I would call bad decisions. So, so we're happy about that. We're happy, about where we are coming out of the deadline. Looking forward to watching, DeAndre throughout the remainder of this year, how he fits in with the group. We're looking forward to seeing how young players continue to grow from this point on, and so that hopefully we can gain some momentum coming out of this season as we prepare for next season. So we're just getting started, and then I think you'll see, the draft is coming up, another opportunity. Free agency is coming up, another opportunity to tweak and improve the roster. But we're still going to do it with the same mindset of being very smart, prudent, and not being impatient. So it takes, like the old saying, Rome was not built in a day. And so I have the patience necessary to do that needs to be done to ultimately get this franchise where all of you would like to see it. And I know the Sacramento fan base at large has been starving for that. And we're going to get there. And so I'm more confident than ever that we will. The job is never done. And with all that being said, I will open it up for questions.
Scott, thank you for taking this opportunity to speak with us, and doing it immediately. A few weeks ago, you had spoke to on a radio show to Kevin Gleason and Kayla Anderson about trades, and I think one of the things that struck me was you're not going to make a move just to make a move, but what was coming back, does it math? Were those some of the, the things that you were running into, things, and maybe some things didn't pan out, maybe things did work out, but maybe it didn't work out with the other team?
Great question, and gives me an opportunity to give all of you a kind of insight into the thing. I think anytime you go into talking about trading a particular player, you try to set a threshold, what you want. Now, obviously, you got to find a trade partner out here or partners to make it happen. And so whether that threshold is a certain amount of draft capital, if you can get it, if you can't get that, okay, then in our case here, can you pivot to get a player that you want that makes sense, that won't impede your long-term vision, especially where we're at in the building stages. So, every trade, and that's where, again, I want to thank my front office again. We do a lot of work in planning. Every deal that we talk about, then we immediately look at, okay, what's the ramifications to the cap, short term, long term, because that's important in team building. So I enjoy that part of the job. And so hopefully that answers your question. Is anything else further?
the other teams? Speaking, dealing with them, was that kind of the same feeling that you was getting from them? Same way you feel about it?
Oh yeah, no. Look, every operation is a little different. Again, I've been around long enough. There's some teams and executives that I've worked closer with over the years than others. So the ones that I know well, it's easy to at least have conversations, direct conversations where either you can quickly establish is there something there that can potentially happen or something not there. Now, there's other conversations that you may have. There's a lot of, and there's internal noise too. When I mean internal noise, that's within the NBA. Sometimes you get people that are just kind of probing just to kind of find out what's going on and what's out there, and they may not be as at the point of, as serious of consummating the deals maybe you are. And so you run into that a little bit. But again, my experience in being around, knowing the majority of these guys in the front offices, you kind of know each organization has its own identity, if you will, or own style in terms of how they like to negotiate in this type of, during the trade deadline, in this type of environment.